Grant Sparks, yes, it is still morning. What time is it? It is 10. Yeah, it's definitely still morning. How are you doing this morning? Today, we're going to be covering jobs. Can I get a job in a post-AI world? And if I want to get work in a post-AI world, what does that look like? We're also going to be covering the shocking revelation that I had in the classes I taught yesterday at Southeastern. We were in the business program. We were in the marketing classes, social media, marketing research, and principles of marketing. And I was shocked at the poll I took with the students and the revelation I had about their social media use. And maybe the data was skewed a little bit, but still, on the whole, we polled almost 100 students throughout the day. And the revelation was shocking. We're going to be covering how to get hired in post-AI world, shocking revelation of college students and their social media use, and what you can glean from that in today's episode of The Grant Sparks Show. Now, before we do anything, morning cup of gratitude. What are you grateful for this morning? Take a second and express gratitude. I said this in one of the classes yesterday. I will have said this on nearly every episode of the Grant Sparks Show. If you cannot change your gear, change your state of mind from nihilistic, pessimistic to grateful, you're going to be stuck. It takes a heart of gratitude to see the opportunities around you. So I encourage you today, take a moment and express morning cup of gratitude with me, and I'll go first. I'm grateful for the time I had with the students at Southeastern yesterday. I look forward to the next time I can do that. Anytime I can talk with students, it does two things. A, I am deeply fulfilled at the work I do with them, but I am also deeply inspired. The students actually gave me this optimism and this inspiration that I had not experienced in a long time. The other thing I am grateful for, shout out to Troy C. Smith. We just had a great coffee, and the man is just so grounded and inspiring in his view of what he's doing as a coach. And as two coaches, we sat there. I'm an aspiring coach. I've been coaching off and on for years, but this guy's got it in the bag. I'm grateful for those. What are you grateful for? Tell me in the comments. If you're watching right now, I want you to jump in the comments and tell me what you're grateful for so I can celebrate with you. Let's talk about the shocking revelation I had when I polled these business college students yesterday, all 100 of them, and what they told me. Let me share that with you. It will blow your socks off. At least I think it will. Let's talk about it. In each of the classes, I posed the question. I had everyone raise their hand if they had posted on their socials in the last year. And of course, all the hands went up. I said in the last 6 months, and most of the hands were up. I said in the last 3 months. Now, most of the hands were down. I said, how many of you posted in the last month? And it was a fraction of the students. And finally, I said, how many of you posted in the last week? What do you think? What percentage of the students do you think claimed out of 100 students polled in 3 separate classes? What percent of the students do you think posted in the last week? I'll give you 3 seconds. If you guessed less than 10%, you would be correct. Less than 10% of college-age students that we polled yesterday in class said that they had posted within the last week. The talk I gave was social media reality check, and I gave it in a variety of ways to each of the classes to make it relevant to their course work and the class that they were in. But as I polled them, I realized they are tragically not using social media. Now, mind you, the question was skewed. I said, how many of you have posted? Now, less than 10% of them posted in the last week. Then I said, how many of you are consuming content? Nearly 100%. And I wanted to encourage them, and I want to encourage you. If these are the numbers of the social native generation, that starting to look like Gen Xers use the internet more than any other generation in terms of posting. But it's also a shocking trend because it means that a lot more people are doom scrolling, or said a different way, consuming content when I believe they should be creating content. And so we asked them, what are some of the fears and concerns? Why don't you post? And it was an amazing amount of real life feedback. I don't know what to post. I don't think about it. I don't think what I'm doing is important. I don't have anything to say. And I won't belabor the point. I won't recreate the entire conversation here. But have you felt that way? Have you felt that you don't know what to post, so you don't post? Have you felt that you don't know what to say, so you just don't post? Have you felt that this stuff you're doing is not that interesting, so you just don't post? You might be victim of what these awesome students are victim of. Now, the reason we were talking about this is because these lovely young people had another concern that we polled them about. I asked, how many of you are concerned about AI in your jobs? And at least 50% of them are concerned about AI and their jobs in the future. And so I'm going to relay to you the second point for today. That was the shocking revelation, but the second point for the day is this. You will be challenged in a post-AI world to have a job, to have clients, if you treat your thing a certain way. And I'm going to reveal that in a second. But if you flip that, if you treat things in a different way, and I'm going to share what that is, you have guaranteed clients for the rest of your career. You have a guaranteed job, if you wish, for the rest of your career, if you treat it in the way that we advise these young students. So let's talk about, can I get hired or can I get clients in a post-AI world? Let's talk about it. And I have to say this, please ask any questions you have, because again, we spoke to about 100 of these students, give or take, throughout the day. We had a ton of conversations, and the conversations you have after your talk are just as rich as the talk itself. It's phenomenal. But these marketing classes, I asked them why they got involved in marketing in the first place, why they got involved in business. You poll the class and the students, some of them want to be marketers. Some of them are taking over family companies. Some of them are looking for a job in graphic design and thought marketing was more creative than other careers in business. Some liked data and analytics. Some were doing sports management and thought marketing would round it out. That sounds like most of us. But I presented for their consideration that does not matter what direction you go in life as an employee, as an entrepreneur, if you've got a pest control company, a dog walking company, or if you're a coach or a trainer, marketing and sales are the prime skill you need, even more than the skill you're talking about. If you're a graphic designer, I still think you need to be even better at marketing than you are graphic design. If you're a dog walker, I think you need to be even better at marketing than graphic design. And I challenged the young people. I asked them, I said, why do you think that is? And a young man sitting right in front of me raised his hand very quickly. I said, okay, you seem like you know what's going on. He said, because it's the hardest skill to master. And I about lost my mind because this young man was dead on. Marketing is one of the most difficult skills to master in business. And here's why. Because A, the consuming audience is becoming more and more numb every day because we're more and more overwhelmed at the 10, 11, 12,000 marketing and advertising impressions we get every single day. We're overwhelmed. We're toast. Our amygdala cannot handle anymore. So consumers are becoming more and more numb. That's reason one. Reason number two, AI slop is pumping out ads at an unprecedented rate. This number of ad impressions you're seeing daily is about to double and triple. We're becoming numb and the volume is increasing. So we're caring less. That's the third point. As consumers, we're caring about consuming less and less. More and more, we just want to be left alone. I can't tell you how many of these students were like, listen, I'm fried, man. I'm so fried. When I have downtime, I just want my downtime. It makes sense. But I challenged them about marketing as mission. You see, this particular student body had a very unique feature. If you were to go learn about marketing in almost any other institution, most other institutions, you get a very secular view. But we happened to be at Southeastern Business College that day. Southeastern College, along with colleges similar to that, tends to have a spiritual mission. And I challenged them. I said, what is divine? And I'm asking you this today. Post your answer in the comments to this question. No matter what your faith, I don't care. If you have any sacredness inside of you, I want you to answer this question. What divine aspect is there to marketing? What divine aspect is there to marketing? And I'm going to tie this into your employability. The willingness of people to hire you in a post-AI world, this correlates. The divine aspect of marketing is simply this. Nearly all marketing follows a problem, agitate, solve. You are developing empathy for someone's pain and hopefully understanding it and listening to them and hearing where they're at. And then from a sincere place, solving that pain. Marketing is hearing them and communicating whether or not you can solve their pain. There's nothing more divine than that, alleviating suffering. And if you let it, marketing can be a spiritual act, not just for value exchange, because there is marketing done wrong, just like there's religion done wrong. And there's marketing done right, just like there's religion done right. I once heard it said on a trip around the world from my survey of world religions teacher. He asked the question, what is religion done wrong and what is religion done right? He said, religion done wrong is preparing people and only preparing people for life after death. But religion done right is preparing people for life before death. You see, you quoted Zorba the Greek when he said the height of religion is to dance. And if your religion teaches people to not dance, you're doing religion wrong. Religion is the celebration of the life we've been given, the reason we've been put on this planet. Similarly, marketing done wrong is simply taking the tools and the levers of human nature and wielding it against someone and selling them something they do not need that solves no problem for them. But marketing done right listens deeply, develops deep empathy for this thing called the human condition, and then connects with someone en masse at scale with that human condition and whispers in their ear, I think I can help you with that. If you're willing, let me solve this for you. Marketing is messaging. Marketing is preaching the gospel and the good news that I can solve your problem when and if, and only if, you do it with a sincere heart. I believe we can bring, and more importantly, I believe we need to bring heart back into what we do. Yes, you can do it at scale. Yes, you can build your empire. Yes, you can put money in the bank gladly. But this out of control, dog eat dog capitalism, arm twisting people in their sales, penetrating and interrupting, called interruptive marketing, throwing an ad in front of their face when they're just trying to peruse every single time and no one asked for your help. It's got to stop. We've got to serve people. Yes, we have a duty to communicate. If we can solve a problem and end suffering in some small way, we have a duty to communicate that to the world. This is marketing as mission. And I believe that we should change gears so that we are not selling anything by hook or crook, but we're making sure we're answering and solving a problem. And if we're not, we need to get into a new business. And we should be able to proudly say, hey, I shut this one business unit down because we were no longer meeting people's needs and solving problems. The market changed. I missed the mark. I wasn't listening well. And everyone needs to applaud and say, okay, where are you off to next? You got a good heart. Let's talk about it. Marketing as mission. This is the message I shared with the students. And it actually turned quite emotional at one point for me. And I think we had a connection point with the particular student body we were with. I posed a question. I said, what can you know about someone? What can you know about someone by seeing their mission? I asked them, do you have a mission? And of course, young people, their head is full of so many other things. It's hard to find time to actually shape. It feels like you're not ready to shape a mission. And to their own admission, most of them had not formed a mission or cause or purpose. I wrote mine on the board, Igniting Lives of Explosive Significance. And I said, this is why this is important, because as a potential employer, I can hire you. And if I look at your profile online, I'm going to want to see what you stand for, because if I know what you stand for, I also unconsciously know what you've been through. How do I know that? If my mission is igniting lives of explosive significance, I challenged the students. I said, what can you know about what I've been through? And this one quiet girl in the corner on the right raised her hand. And she said, I can guess there was a time that you felt insignificant. And to hear someone else, a young person, with the presence of mind and the rational thought to put two and two together and say that out loud, it moved me. It touched me to hear it. It was cathartic. It was medicinal to me. And I wrote it on the board. Your mission usually comes from your pain. And it should. This is marketing as mission. I encourage you, get your social media profiles updated. No, not to play the social media game. No, you don't have to sit here and doom scroll. No, you don't have to click on memes and dance. I want you to put your voice out there. The internet at large, and specifically social media, is a new apparatus of the human species by which we connect to the oneness. We now are in the omniscience age. We have all-knowing knowledge. With social media, we're approaching the omnipresent age where we can be present anywhere at all times with circles that matter within their relevant context. These are two very powerful divine-like skills that we're barely able to do. But I, as a potential employer, might hire you, or as a potential client, might decide if I want to do business with you based on who you are. And all I'm looking for and challenging you with today, just like I did these beautiful students, was to go online and make your voice known. Does it have to be perfect? Of course not. It's a work in progress, like all of us stinking humans are. It could be warts and all. This is what building in the open and the trend of BITO, building in the open, is all about. It's building in the open. It's saying, I'm insecure about this one thing, but I'm working through it. Follow along. Challenge me to be better just by watching. Click like so that I know someone is paying attention, and it will challenge me to push further to be my best self. And you could even limit your audience to friends and family. I don't care. But utilize these tools. Do not be a consumer without first and foremost being a creator, created in the image of their creator to create good things. Don't just be a consumer. Put your voice out there. Why am I talking about this? The AI apocalypse is taking full hold, and there are many people who are scared. Now let's land this home on what makes you employable in a post-AI world. Your ability to connect with that which is human. For these marketing students, I said, if you know how to do marketing analytics, you're going to be replaceable. If you know how to create graphic design, I can do that right now through Claude Code. You're going to be replaceable. But you know what's not replaceable is telling me the human story, underlying, moving me to tears like that young lady moved me to tears. We made a connection when she said, I think you've experienced some insecurity at some point, some insignificance. If you have the ability to communicate and connect with that which is innately human, you are permanently employable. You will always find clients. You will always find supporters, especially in a post-AI world. So I cannot encourage you enough to update your profile to be something purely human. We say the word authentic too much that it's beginning to lose its meaning. So I'm telling you, do something viscerally human. Share something that I know you bled a little to share it. These students shared some things in the sacredness of a university classroom. And for those who have taught, you know that sometimes there's a true sacred moment between teachers and students and students and students when they just finally let the screen down and share some vulnerable moments. One young man shared his vulnerable moments growing up and why it brought him to school. Another young man took me into the hallway to share some vulnerable moments. Do you have the ability to connect with that which is innately human. You begin by using the few tools we have. And one of the most powerful, underused tools we have to not be something polished, to not be something perfect, but to be something beautifully raw is social media. Tell me your fears. Tell me what's not working. Tell me your hopes. Tell me your dreams. Tell me what is working. Use these tools as a mirror to become the next things we need to become. Because there's tough times coming. I'm not going to cushion that. There are tough times coming, and I am not going to cushion that. But we, those who know how to be human, connect with that which is human, share our human experiences, because the only consumers out there are not robots, but humans. The thing on the other side of data analytics, of whether or not a particular call to action button was clicked, was a human who was saying, I had a hope that wasn't met. Tell me that story. And you can make things better for everyone involved. Your employer, your client, their clients and visitors to their websites. So if I had any message for you today, any message at all, I'm optimistic about what's coming next. I'm not fooled that it's going to be easy, societally, economically. I'm not fooled, but I'm optimistic because the young people are showing me that they have a resilience that I was kind of growing pessimistic about, but no longer. And the other thing is, I'm greatly optimistic that we will be forced to become human again. No matter what you do today, remember the mission: igniting lives of explosive significance.